Okay, so this is our Colors of the Rainbow Crafts program, and our first craft is the Rainbow Pony Bead Bracelet. Here is what you need. You're going to need 2 pipe cleaners, 1 button with holes large enough for the pipe cleaner to fit through, pony beads in rainbow colors or any colors that you have. It doesn't need to be a rainbow. And then optional is a small piece of duct tape, any color. So let's go ahead and watch how we create it. Okay, so we are going to start doing our rainbow bead bracelet. So for this one, you will need a relatively large button. And I just wanted to show you here. This button has 4 holes. That's the kind that you want. This one only has 2. Try to find one that has 4 holes. So you'll need a large button. You will need beads, pony beads, these are called. To do the rainbow bracelet, you would want 4 beads of each color that you want on your rainbow bracelet. I have a bunch here. I'm not going to use them all, but I have the rainbow colors to show you. So 4 red, 4 orange, 4 yellow, 4 green. I have lots of blues here, but at least 4 of one blue, 4 purple. And if you wanted to add pink to your rainbow, you could. And I did also want to mention, this is a Rainbow Crafts event, but if you don't have rainbow colored beads, you can make this bracelet with any beads that you have. That's just what we're doing today. So your large button, your beads, 2 pipe cleaners. I have these shiny gold ones, kind of like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But you can use any 2 pipe cleaners that you want. These are 2 different colors. You could use 2 that are the same color. I will say that since this becomes a bracelet, although this kind is very pretty, it's not as nice to wear. It's a little bit scratchier, so you might want to keep that in mind. My sample here is made with silver, and that's kind of scratchy too. And then this is optional, but I have some duct tape here. You can use duct tape any color that you would like. The reason I have that is because when you put your bracelet together in the back and you twist these together, you're trying to kind of cover up the ends of your pipe cleaners because they're sharp and pokey. And if you still feel them, you could wrap the duct tape around here to kind of cover up those pokey ends if you're feeling them. So this is just optional for that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I am going to use the 2 gold pipe cleaners. I'm going to take my button and put it from underneath up through 1 hole of the button. First, actually, I missed a step. We are going to fold our pipe cleaner in half so we know how far to go, and then unfold it and start to stick it through up through 1 of those holes. And then hopefully you can see this here. I'm going to go diagonally to the diagonal hole or kitty corner. So I'm not going to the hole next to it or this hole next to it. I'm going to go to this one across from it. So I'm going to go to where that bend is that we made in the pipe cleaner, and then push it back down so it's crisscrossing there. And then I'm going to take my other pipe cleaner, do the same, bend it approximately in half, unbend it, go find a hole there that we haven't gone through yet, pull it through until that halfway point, and you're going to go down through the only hole we haven't gone through yet, which is diagonal from the one we just went through. And what you should wind up with here is your button in the middle with your pipe cleaners kind of making an X there, okay? So this is what we should have. And this is when we start threading our beads on. And again, today we're doing rainbow themed crafts, so I'm going to do this in rainbow order. in this sample bracelet I had already made, my middle bead is red, so I kind of skipped using a red bead first. But for this one, since my middle bead is kind of a wood golden color, I'm going to start with red. Put that on and stop at the button. You want to make sure it doesn't kind of go under the button so you can't see it. So it's in there. So hold it there. And then we're just going to keep threading. We put on our orange, our yellow, our green. I think I'm going to use this pretty turquoise color, blue. I call this indigo, the dark blue. And purple. And I will add green. That's a good color to add there, okay? So that's one pipe cleaner done. Now we're going to go over to this one and thread the same pattern, our rainbow border. Red, orange, yellow. You can sing the rainbow song if you want while you do this. Green, blue. Got my indigo here, my dark blue, blue, purple, and pink. All right, so these two are done. We're going to join them together, cross them like this, and start to twist them together. And I'm going to twist all the way down to the end so that they stay. And what you can do, either when you're all done or now, kind of spread it out like that. If you like it together like that, you can keep it that way, or you can spread it so it'll look kind of like a figure eight by the time we're done. All right, and then we move to the other side, and we're going to thread on our red, our orange. Once you've done it a few times, you can get pretty quick at it. Yellow, green, blue, turquoise teal color, indigo, purple. And again, if you're mixing any of these colors, that's okay. It will still be a beautiful bracelet with whatever pony beads you have available to you. All right, there's one side, and our last rainbow on this side. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, purple, or violet, color, and pink. And then we do the same thing on this side. We're gonna crisscross them, press them into an X there, and start to twist, 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 to hold it together. And like I said, you can take these and kind of spread them out, flip it over, and there's your bracelet. Now we need to join these ends together. So make sure your ends are twisted together. We're gonna go like this. At this point, you kind of wanna have someone possibly to help you put it around your wrist and kind of size it to your wrist. So I'm sizing it to my wrist here. I see, I'm going to twist it, just kind of bend it there so I know where. Make sure I can slip it off of my wrist. And right here where it's bent is where I'm going to kind of start to twist these together. So I'm going to loosen it a little bit so it's easier to start to twist one around the other. And you could call this done, but like I said, if you wanted to take some duct tape, if you feel those pokey ends of there's our finished product. If you feel the pokey ends of these pipe cleaners at all, then feel free to use tape. Duct tape works really well because it's thick and smooth. To wrap it around here so that it's not pokey now. But there it is, our rainbow bracelet. That is an easy craft. All you need is button, pipe cleaners, and you can try lots of different designs too. All right, have fun making that at home. Bye, everyone.
Okay, we are going to go right into our next craft, and this one is going to be the coffee filter rainbows. So let me show you. All right. So for this craft, you're going to need some coffee filters, scissors, markers, a spray bottle of water, a tray, baking sheet, or a surface that can get wet. And optional, if you wanted your coffee filter to be totally flat so that the colors don't run as much, then you would be able to iron it. Of course, you need an adult supervision for that. So that's just an optional. I didn't do that for my samples, so that is up to you. All right, so let's learn how to make those.
Okay, this craft is a coffee filter rainbow. And here are some that we made. This one is made with the red on top, and this one is with the purple on top. And these I actually strung together, which you can do if you make a bunch of these into a sort of garland of rainbows. Or you can hang them in the windows so the light shines through them, so they're very pretty. And we are going to show you how to make one now. This is what you're going to need. Some coffee filters and some scissors and some markers and a spray bottle of water. Now, our first step, use coffee filters to have these lines in them. So I did want to mention, and I didn't do that with these samples that I made, but if you wanted these to be flat, you could put them under heavy books or something for a while to flatten them out a little bit. Or if you really want them flat, you could get some parchment paper and you could put one or a few in between parchment paper, and you can actually iron them on the lowest setting if you want them really flat first. I didn't do that. So you'll see how some of the colors have sort of run down these lines. That's why. I think if they were completely flat, then that might not have happened so much, but I kind of like that pretty bright-eyed look, so it's totally up to you. You can also experiment, make a bunch of these, and try them in different ways. So our first step is to try to flatten it out a little bit, and then you have to kind of fold it first if you'd like, so you know a good line and you can wing it. And then cut on this right here. I'm going to cut this in half. So even if you only have one coffee filter that you can find, you can make two beautiful rainbows with it. We've got one here. You can see I'm doing this on a plastic tray. You want to make sure this can be a relatively messy project. So you want a surface that can be wiped off, and ideally it has sides like this tray because it will get pretty wet from spraying your coffee filter with water. So you would like it to catch the water and not get your markers and your water all over the place. So I'm going to start drawing my rainbow. And I tried it a few ways. One, I did just lines like this, and that didn't show a whole lot of color, but it still looked pretty. But what I found worked really well was just doing a thicker or a wider squiggle line. If you want to use more color or less color, you can experiment with that. But here's my red. Orange. Of the rainbow. And it's not something that needs to be exact, which is great about that. Color any which way and see how the water changes it. Now we're going to do yellow. This one's for gold, so you could do a bunch of lines going the other way. Like one of them that I showed you, I started with purple on the outside and then went backwards down the rainbow and then red here. And just like the last craft, the other crafts I mentioned, these are rainbow themed, but you can do whatever colors you want on your coffee filter. It doesn't have to be rainbow. And finally, I'm sorry, purple. All right. So this is when it gets a little messy. And I did want to note that when you start using the water, a little goes a long way. And one of the funnest things about this project is watching what the water does to the marker ink and observing that. So I start with just one spritz, kind of a little bit, and then see how the color is running. And then I'll move to a different area. I got most of it in the blue and purple part, so I'm going to go up a little bit. And watch that run together. And you can see it's kind of starting to move up in those little divots from the coffee filter not being flat, which is okay. It looks kind of pretty. And another spritz over there. It's starting to spread out. And you can use, if you use too much water, it's really going to run the colors all over the place, which you can see how that turns out. That's the great thing about this. You just need markers and coffee filters, so you can try this lots of different ways and make lots of different rainbows, or you don't actually have to cut it in half to make a rainbow. You could do the whole coffee filter, color on it, wet it, and then once it's dried, you can cut it into whatever shape you want. You could do, cut it into hearts, you could cut it into stars, you could cut it into shamrocks, you could do green colors for St. Patrick's Day coming up. You can do this for lots of different things. But that is it. And then what I usually do is just let it dry. It can dry pretty quickly. It's, it might take a day to make sure that it's totally dry. And then, as I showed you before, what your dried versions might wind up looking like this. That inverted rainbow looking on the outside, kind of look like tie-dyed t-shirt. And for this is strung on fishing line, the clear fishing line. I don't know if you can see it there, and I just kind of taped over the top of the rainbow to put it on the fishing line. but these look really pretty in the windows too, with the sun shining through. So that's all there is to it. Coffee filter, color on it, however you'd like. It could be a rainbow or whatever you want it to be. Spritz it with water and let it dry. And just a reminder to go easy on the water. It can be hard for really little kids to hold back, but otherwise you'll just wind up with a big pool of water here on the tray, which can be fun too, right? It's like we like to say, it's about the process, not the product. So it's about the fun of making the art, not so much what the final product is. All right.
Okay, so that was our second craft, our coffee filter rainbows. And now we are going to jump into the pre-recorded instructions for how to make our third rainbow craft, which is this rainbow cloud rainbow mobile. And in the video, it's very hard to show you it hanging. So I wanted to show you how it looks completed. This is one made with one large cloud hanging from a stick. You can see the kind of triangle hanger of string here. And then I also wanted to show you another example with two clouds, two little clouds hanging from a stick. And like I say in the video, you could choose to do it differently. You could do all the drops, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. So whatever combination, you could do one cloud hanging a little bit lower than the other. So think about that before you start, what your plan is for your mobile. And we'll go ahead and show you the instructions, the video for that one. All right, so for the rainbow mobile, these are what you will need: a stick, you can just go outside and grab one, or a hoop if you have one lying around, cotton balls, cardstock or cardboard, paper in each of the colors of the rainbow, fishing line, string or yarn, any kind of string, tape, glue, scissors, and a pencil, and you are set. So let's see how it's done. Oops, I lost our shared screen here.
Okay, this project is a rainbow mobile, and these are the supplies you will. Okay, this project is a rainbow mobile, and these are the supplies you will need. Rainbow mobile, and these are the supplies you will need. Cotton balls to make your clouds, a stick, which you can just find outside. Go on a stick hunt outside and find a nice, maybe 8 to 12-inch stick is best, although it could be larger if you wanted to make a bigger mobile. You will also need, this is fishing line, which is clear, which is nice. It makes it look like the drops are suspended in air, but it doesn't need to be fishing line. You could use yarn, you could use string, you could use ribbon, anything that you have. And I forgot to mention, you don't have to use a stick. I like that kind of nature look, but if you have a dowel, if you have even an embroidery hoop or any kind of hoop, you could make a round mobile with that. So anything that you want to hang your cloud with the drops from. And you will need a pencil to make your templates. These are two of my example templates of the drop and a cloud. And you will need tape and scissors and cardstock or cardboard. You could use either. It just needs to be sticker paper. And paper in rainbow colors. So I have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. And really quickly, I will show you one that I made. It's kind of hard to show this way. I'll show it at the end. I'll take the tray away. But basically, you have the clouds from the stick and raindrops in the different rainbow colors. So that's what we're going to create right now. And for this one, the sample I just showed you, I made 2 clouds and I hung a few different colored drops from each cloud. You can put this together however you would like. Maybe you want your string of drops to go in rainbow order. So you're hanging, you know, an orange one down under a red one, a yellow under the orange in rainbow order instead of next to each other. Whatever you want it to look like, it's fine. To create my cloud, I found a template and just cut out one of these clouds to use as my template. Copied it onto the cardstock. However, since we're going to put cotton balls all over our clouds, you don't have to have that classic cloud shape, right? It just it started like this with these little cloud bumps, but once you put the cotton balls on it, you don't even see those. So you could just do an oval if you want when you create your cloud. And I think that is all our supplies. We're ready to go. The first thing you want to do is create your cloud. For this one, I'm going to do a different style than what I just showed you. I'm going to make one big cloud and I'm going to hang all of my droplets from this one big cloud. Okay. And so what you would do, move this stuff out of the way so we can start working on it. Aside. Right. And the way I made this big cloud, I freehanded it with just, kind of drawing cloud, taking up a full sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock paper, cut that out, and then I have a template for my other one. So once you have one cut out, you're going to want 2 of these. So I use this one as my template. I'm going to trace around it. Oops.
Was there another question?
And you have one that once you cut it out should be the same size. So I'm going to cut this out.
You're welcome.
And you don't have to cut out perfectly because this is all going to get covered up with fluffy cotton balls to make it look like a beautiful fluffy cloud. And if we were making the one that I showed at the beginning with the 2 smaller clouds, you would need 4 small clouds. So if you're making a mobile with 2 clouds hanging from it, you want 4 clouds made out of cardstock. Okay. So now we have 2 large clouds. As you can see, they're the same size because I used one as the template for the other one. And what we can do is start gluing.
I applied for a library.
Look that over. Start gluing our cotton balls on.
Did you include the dash 4?
And the cotton balls just unroll, which is kind of fun. So you unroll it like this, and just sort of squish it on there. Whatever shape you like, and I just kind of try to find the outside of the cotton ball where it starts. Unroll it and add it to my fluffy cloud. And see, it doesn't matter if the pencil is showing on the outside of the cloud, if I didn't cut all that pencil off, it doesn't matter if my cloud is a funny shape, because I can always go over the edges there with the cotton ball, and it covers that up. All right, and then keep adding to it. Keep adding to it. Unrolling and adding.
Okay. Yeah, and then
And you're gonna want to wait a while to piece your mobile together, because you need this to dry. This one has kind of some cool stripes in it. The other one that I showed you, I kind of did more, let's see here, just kind of fluffed it up more. I'm kind of liking how this makes lines and like clouds here. So you could do it either way. If you want to fluff it up more, you can kind of do this type of thing, spread it out. I'll get it to look that way on the other one. But there's no right way to do it. Find that you need a little more glue. Just add more glue. There's some spots to fill. Enough glue. Cotton ball fluff. So there is one side of one cloud, and then I'm not going to do the other one right now to save time, but I would do the same thing on the other one. Make sure that when you're doing it, you've matched them up like this. You're going to sandwich your string between these. So you want to make sure you're adding the fluff to the right side. And it doesn't matter as much if you just do an oval, like I said you could do. You don't have to worry about these matching up correctly. But I'm just going to set this one aside and let it dry. You would do the same thing on this one, set it aside and let it dry. And now I'm going to show you how we create all of these drops that we're going to add. So for the one that I showed at the beginning, I did three different, 3 drops of each color. So if you don't want tape showing, like this does, if you don't want the string showing, because in a mobile it's hanging from the sky or from the ceiling, so it will move around, you can see both sides, then what you're going to want to do is sandwich the string between 2 drops. So you're going to need 6. If you have 3 of each color hanging, you would want to cut out 6 drops. Now the number of drops you need of each color is going to depend on the design that you choose, which, like I said, could be anything that you want. You could just do 1 drop of each color. But I did want to show you a little trick for cutting out a bunch at the same time. You can, if we need 6 drops, you can accordion fold, just making sure that you have enough space there for the drop to be on there. So you could accordion fold, accordion fold, accordion fold, and then cut them all out at the same time. So you're getting 6 or 3 or however many you're going to do. Or you can take 6 sheets of paper or however many you want to do. And what I like to do is staple them together so that they're secure. Then trace my drop on it. And this drop, I freehanded. If you wanted to print something off of the internet and use that as a template, you could. It can be any size that you want, as long as it is the right size for the cloud on your mobile. But what I did is I stapled 6 sheets together, and I only traced 1 time. And then I cut this out all at the same time. And when I'm done, I'm only cutting once. I'm only tracing the template once. I'm only cutting once, but I am getting 6 red drops. Ta-da! So that is a nice time-saving tip for you. You can cut out a whole bunch at once. And at some point, the amount of paper gets too thick for you to cut through them all. So you have to be aware of that. But so I am going to skip ahead because I already have drops cut out. And what we are going to do is take these drops to the string. So, some tape. That. And then, it's going to be seen from both sides. I can tape. Now you can use double-sided tape. I happen to have, you could use the glue or glue stick. And just put these together like that. There's my first drop. Another thing I forgot to mention is that you don't have to use paper. If you have felt in different colors at home, or maybe pretty scrapbooking paper in different designs or patterns, you could try that. And then I'm going to take the next one. One thing about the fishing line is that it curls because it comes off of this spool here. So if you wanted your drops to hang straight and not kind of twist around, then you might want to consider something with a heavier string that might hang straight, like yarn would probably hang pretty straight. But like I mentioned before, the good thing about fishing line is that you can see it. There. So here's 2 of the drops. And then one more. And we are going to do this with all the different colors. 6 different colors. And I have 6 of each. Color dots. Here is our first color of drops. And once I have this, I'll cut fishing wire. I can tape this, whatever, however far down I want it to hang from my cloud. And then I can move on to the next one. So I would do the same thing for orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And then I would take that other cloud, which I would have the cotton balls on, and I would sandwich that, all of those strings between here. But first, I also need fishing line. This one piece. Onto the stick. Another stick. And since I'm doing one cloud, I'm going to tie it right in the middle. On the other one, I had two little clouds. So I did them at either end of the stick. We'll tie, and I'm going to knot it a couple times just to make sure it's secure. Excess top. And just want to make sure this string is taped wherever you want it, ideally in the middle of the cloud if you're only doing one cloud. At whatever height you want it from the stick. So I'm doing it a couple inches down. But you can choose that. I'm going to tape it a few times to make sure. And I'm going to trim my string. It's a little long. Then, like I said, we're imagining that this is also covered in beautiful cotton balls, making it look like a fluffy cloud. And we have the orange. We have the orange drops hanging next to the red, yellow, green, blue, and purple. And then we are gluing or double-sided taping. I'm going to use double-sided tape. So you're sandwiching, and I know it's hard to see this clear line, but you're sandwiching it between the two clouds. And you've already put on all these other drop strings, and they're sandwiched between these two clouds also. So at the very end, and I'll show you the other one. We're not going to finish this one during this example. But at the very end, you have the stick, and you have the fishing line here, or your string, whatever it is. You have your cloud, beautiful fluffy cloud, and it is raining a rainbow from your cloud. And we are imagining that we have all those other colors hanging here too. So, the orange, the yellow, the green, the blue, and the purple are all hanging from your clouds. You're kind of spacing these out. And that would be a mobile that you can hang up. And let me show you, although it's hard to show horizontally like this. Let me show you the finished product, which again is made with two clouds instead. But what I like about this is that you can be as creative as you want. You could use, like I said, instead of a stick, you could use a round hoop if you have something like that. If you really want to do a round one, then you could find a piece of stiff cardboard and cut a hoop out of that. You could do what I've done with these, which is all of the strings of drops have the same color drop hanging from them, or you can make your string have all the colors of the rainbow. It's pretty simple, easily. But this is one example of how it can look.
It's really quiet.
My clouds, and we've got some all Untitled. Okay. So have fun making your own rainbow. And the nice thing about this is you can hang it up in a corner of a room or in front of a window and leave it there for a long time to add them. Sometimes it's perfect for the spring season. Right. There you have it. So I hope you will make your own rainbow mobile at home.
Okay, everyone. So this is the finished product of what was made in that video, the one with the large cloud and the 3 different rainbow drops on it. And one last step is just tying your fishing line or your string to either end so that you can hang it, another piece of fishing line. All right, so that is just really pretty. I hope you enjoyed watching and that you'll be able to make some of these projects. Did want to remind people that in 2 weeks we have another art club program, and that one is going to be bubble paint flowers. And join us for that. If you have any photos of what you do today, you can post them on our SCCLD art gallery for kids. And thank you very much for joining us. All right, and we will get this up on Facebook if you'd like to watch it. We were not able to live stream it, but the recording will be posted on Facebook if you need to refresh your memory about how to do any of these projects. Thanks for joining us.